For people to understand, they have to stop looking at things as isolated. They have to look at things globally, not locally. That everything is a part of a plan. We've been attacked in this particular area with smart meters, takeover of local power plants by members of the Council on Foreign Relations and members of Skull and Bones through Blackstone. The smart meters, which monitor every device in the house, are being implemented through PG&E, which has contracts with ICLEI. ICLEI is the front for the World Bank, imposing Agenda 21. And what this is a part of a catalyst where they're using two parts of poison, like you mix the glues in order to make them deadly. And that those people that are among the elite either have the antidote or some way to protect themselves and their family. But the poisoning from the sky, the toxin waste, the crap, the air, the crap coming from the airplanes, all of these pieces are being attacked by people, and they look at them as isolated situations. They don't understand that this is part of a total tyranny and part of a soft kill that continues to go. It's the aircraft that's coming from the airplanes that's destroying the people.
Now you said air crap. Are they dumping
well, we know
sewage
already
or what?
We already know that this has been documented. People have been ingesting through their lungs and in the food and in the houses and both breathing and eating this poison.
There's respiratory problems that are happening right here in Santa Cruz. Is that correct?
There absolutely are. The constant attack on people is, you can see it from the schools where they get people to read by adopting a whole word rather than phonetically. They don't want you to be able to put things together. They're pouring the fluoride locally into the water to lower the IQ. I have no doubt that what they're dropping from the skies is designed as a soft kill to mollify the people as they continue the massive killing. They've been preparing for this for a long time through the Club of Rome, through the various institutions, and through the wars, through the report from Iron Mountain, where they are upset. They're looking for alternatives.
What do you mean when you're talking about a war? What do you mean when you're talking about a war here?
Well, they're looking at war as a way to reduce the world's population. You look at the eugenicists and their working hand in glove with Nazi Germany, Planned Parenthood, and the people that were involved. Prescott Bush, Skull and Bones, who was the treasurer of Planned Parenthood. The people like Alan Dulles that were involved with I.B. Farben that brought in the poison gas to kill the people in Germany. The same Alan Dulles was responsible for the American Committee for a United Europe. They put together the European Union. He was the head of the CIA. He was on the Warren Commission that covered up the killing of JFK.
Now Margaret Sanger was involved with President Herbert Walker Bush.
Prescott Bush, and that was part of Brown Brothers Harriman. Averill Harriman is the godfather of the Democratic Party. In fact, Leon Panetta went to Averill Harriman's wife's funeral. He is so connected with the conspirators.
Well, not everybody in the United States of America throughout the world know who Leon Panetta is.
Right. Well, Leon Panetta comes from this particular area here. He was made a congressman. He campaigned for Nelson Rockefeller as a youth. He worked in the White House trying to work Nixon out of the scene in order to get Nelson Rockefeller moved in as president. He succeeded in getting Gerald Ford elected. Gerald Ford nominated or appointed Nelson Rockefeller as his vice presidential nominee. Yeah, Leon Panetta is a figuratively adopted son of the Rockefeller family. He was involved with Nelson Rockefeller's campaign. He was in the White House with Nixon. When he returned from the White House, according to his own autobiography, he stopped to talk to Winthrop Rockefeller at Winthrop's mansion. He came back to the California coast to become a congressman. Later, after Rhodes Scholar Bill Clinton was elected as president, he was brought in as chief of staff, again as a Rockefeller man in the White House.
Well, listen, I've got to be the devil's advocate here. Now, Leon Panetta is from this area. Are you saying that he is knowledgeable of the fact that these people who are working with him through the Central Intelligence Agency are dropping toxins knowingly on the people and the trees and the animals and it's going into the water and the air, that he's knowledgeable of this? You're telling me that in essence that he's guilty of crimes against humanity?
Panetta is involved and connected with the Rockefeller intelligence and private agencies. He was co-chairman with David Rockefeller III on the Oceans Commission, which advocates turning these oceans over to the United Nations. And that's part of the Lost Treaty, the Law of the Sea Treaty. He's involved as he's now ahead of the CIA under Obama, again Rockefeller's man. And if the CIA is involved in anything, it certainly should be involving protecting our borders, which we know are wide open, and certainly we're being attacked from the sky with poisons, as we could repeatedly see, and it's totally documented that he is totally for this poisoning, this soft kill that's going on. We have a picture of Leon Panetta, Sam Farr, and Jacques Cousteau's son.
Isn't he an environmentalist?
Jacques Cousteau wrote for the UNESCO magazine.
Mr. Arnold, I don't mean to be rude, but you ran for Congress against Leon Panetta. Couldn't you be having a personal vendetta against this head of the CIA because of his political opposition to what you stand for?
Well, actually, in my newspaper tabloid that distributed throughout the campaign, it's running against the trilaterals. And it said trilateralism is the issue. I was running against David Rockefeller and Zbigniew Brzezinski. Well, and it turns out that we know that Leon
Panetta was a Republican. He was in favor of David Rockefeller, and of course Nelson Rockefeller was running for president.
Right, in the Republican Party.
In the Republican Party. So
you're absolutely right.
And you're a Republican, so why are you on the attack of a fellow Republican or half Republican?
Well, political parties are irrelevant of one's political position. Members of the Council on Foreign Relations, whose very purpose is to change the United States into a North American Union under the United Nations. Their purpose, forming in 1921, they incorporated because the League of Nations.
Are you saying they're trying to bring out some sort of world government? Are you talking about some sort of conspiracy theory to do just that?
Absolutely. The theory is proven. All the tests against this particular theory of world government has been proven.
But how does that relate to these toxins that you say are being dropped here and over Santa Cruz and Monterey, down the coast?
Because the papers, the organizations, such as the United Nations UNESCO magazine, where Jacques Cousteau said that the elimination of the people, he advocated eliminating 350,000 people per day. You read the papers from the Club of Rome, they want to reduce the population.
Come on.
About Ted Turner wanting to make the population down to 80%.
Listen, I don't mean to be argumentative, my friend, but let's take a look at this claim that Jacques Cousteau wanted to reduce the population by how many people per day?
That's 350,000 people per day. In fact, you have today, recently, you can look at a picture where Sam Farr, who flies the United Nations flag at his congressional office, Leon Panetta, who's the head of the CIA, is with the son of Jacques Cousteau. The same plan is there. The chain of command remains the same. A few of the names have changed, but these are all Rockefeller advocates of.
Wait 1 second. Let me just take a look out here in the skies. I saw one of these what you call jet trails or chemtrails. I guess you guys are calling them.
Well, the air crap lets out the toxins.
The air crap, right?
And what's happening is this is probably like when you mix up the glues, that works as a catalyst. It itself might not be as damaging as when it's connected with something else that might be put in the food or the water or some other chemical.
But you're referring to this stuff to the aluminum oxide and the barium and all of those things that are contained in the sprays. You're calling it crap. You're saying that it's toxic?
Well, we know it's a fact that it's being distributed, and we know for a fact that the head of the CIA, who's supposed to be protecting our coast, our oceans, our borders, and the health, certainly of the American people, is keeping it secret. If it's supposed to be a sunscreen, like
you're saying, yeah, but you're saying, wait a minute. You're saying here that this is done deliberately by the appointee of Barack Obama, the President of the United States, head of the Central Intelligence Agency, and they're doing it deliberately? This man is from this area.
Well, you've got to look at the chain of command. He wasn't appointed by Barack Obama. You've got to look at who installed Barack Obama or George Bush or all the rest of the people. You move back one or two echelons and you're into the Skull and Bones, you're into the Rockefeller family.
This story is so incredible. You're talking about deliberately setting forth a program to mass murder millions of people on this planet. These
poison particles
that are being dropped go everywhere. They go in the lungs of people, and I understand that. But aren't they beneficial to the people? Isn't the taxpayers' monies going to benefit the people? Certainly it's not going to harm the people. How could they get away with something of this nature?
Well, that's the lying phrase they use in everything, whether it's for the children pouring poison fluoride into the water.
But isn't this for the children?
For their teeth, but it's bad for their brains and their livelihood.
But isn't
their IQ and their fertility.
Mr. Arnold, I hate to be argumentative, but isn't this for the children and dropping this aluminum oxide and barium?
It is for the children. It's designed to terminate their lives and make them useful idiots for the period that they're alive.
Are you telling me that it's deliberately dumbing down the children?
It's for one of several purposes, either dumbing down or mollifying the people so that as they continue their soft kill into high kill, there will be less resistance.
Now, you're not going to tell me this is going to get the old ladies or people who are, breathing in the air, right? You're not going to, are you? How far are you going to go with this story? I mean, I've got to be an objective reporter here, Mr. Arnold, and you're talking about dropping this stuff down. I know there's complaints of respiratory diseases, but isn't this just of 2 or 3 people in the area that's talking about this? Aren't they? Couldn't they have this problem without this dropping of the? What are you referring to? Air crap? You're saying this is like a toxic dump site? I mean, in Santa Cruz is targeted?
Well, if you review the people that are orchestrating this, they're the same people that are calling for a reduced world population. They're the same people that have created the killer seeds, which the corn that's sent to Mexico or India will grow for one crop and then it exterminates itself. It's making people dependent on a very small food supply in which they have seeds up in the Arctic Circle. Bill Gates and his eugenics buddies have protected for themselves.
Listen, I've read the stories about the Frankenfoods and Monsanto and all of this crap. It sounds like conspiracy Looneyville out there.
Well, nothing happens without conspiracy. If people go to their local court, they'll find out that at least a third of the criminal cases involve the crime of conspiracy. It might not be a third, but it's a good segment, maybe 15 to 20%, has to do with conspiracy. The world doesn't work without conspiracy. People getting together to invoke a plan. Conspiracy just means it's a criminal plan. It's began since.
Listen, we've all been here in Santa Cruz. We've all been looking up at the skies. We've noticed massive amounts of these drops. But there's a thing called global warming, Mr. Arnold. Isn't this to protect us from global warming?
Well, not man-made global warming, or if it's the sun heating up all the planets at the same time. You've got some 30,000 scientists that aren't federally paid that have gone in the opposite direction, and an easy Google will show that is not a position that you state that.
Listen, I'm going to do some more research. I'm going to do some more research on this. Will you be willing to come back on camera in front of me within the next 2 days and give me some further documentation, because this seems bizarre that we're talking about an attack upon not only the people of this state, but the people of the United States and the world.